Kicking off today's questions and answers video with one from Zach Tyler, who would like to know what are your top 3 worst matches that you have ever watched. So quite recently we did what's the worst wrestling match ever as like a Chatty Faces video, so you can check that one out if you want like in-depth breakdowns. But let me hear your 3 worst matches of all time.
Well, you and I were both in attendance for the Usos match. I think that has to go on the list, doesn't it? Because it was on a show with such great stuff on it. They've been factored in obviously to the Bloodline stuff. They built this story for a year basically, and then it was just a load of super kicks and the most obvious betrayal you've ever seen.
Expectations, delivery.
Yeah. I don't think there's anyone that would argue with that.
I don't think you can argue with that, no.
In terms of other bad matches, I don't know, are we only counting ones we were in attendance for?
No, I've just ones I watched on TV, things like that. I've got 3 absolute rank rotten pieces of crap if you want me to just go through them.
Yeah, go run through some, because I reckon I can guess one of them.
Number 1, One Final Beat.
That's the one I was going to guess.
Abhorrent. Number 2, Jake the Snake and Yokozuna versus Jim Neidhart and King Kong Bundy from Heroes of Wrestling for myriad reasons. And number 3, Jerry Lawler versus Michael Cole.
Oh yeah, that's got to go on actually, hasn't it?
I did think
especially because they were cheeky enough to be like, let's run it back.
Yeah, exactly. And I did think of putting in some of the TNA absolute stinkers like Jenna Maraska and Sharmell and Rebel and Shelley Martinez.
I'll not hear a bad word about that match. I love the...
They're funny though, is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't put them in because they're hilarious. Do the thing.
Jenna from Survivor and the Sharmell outfit as well.
Do the Shelley Martinez thing. Go on. Why not? I'm not.
Good.
Vag. Yeah, next.
Tell you one match that was really disappointing with, and that was Edge AJ Styles at WrestleMania 38, I think it was. Yes, you had eventually the Priest Ripley additions to the Judgment Day and stuff, but I do remember. Who's editing this?
That man there.
I'll do it now, and I'll that's my only one, because I always remember the Hamlet thing where Edge is making his entrance and someone had a sign and we could see the back of it the entire time, and on the front, I don't know what it said, I love WWE, whatever. Adam Copeland makes his entrance, the person turns around and says, Edge is shit. And then he had an absolute stinker. So there was someone who tried to start a This Is Awesome chant, and I thought Michael Hamlet was genuinely going to fight him. So I'll chuck that in as well, rather than just the obvious ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know yours in the comments, because it's always fun to discover a new absolute piece of crap.
-5 stars. Anyway.
Exploding Barbed Wire match was crap, but that was just the ending.
Tooth and nail. That was pretty rotten.
Oh, God, yeah. And I campaigned for that to be on the... Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's talk about John Gowan. Thank you, John, for your question. He says, hello, legends. I hope you're both doing amazing. If you could change one thing about wrestling, what would it be? Thank you. You both keep me sane and smiling every day. Thanks for all you do. Cheers, John.
I think a bit more patience in general is the number one thing I would... From every major wrestling company, things are just a bit too short these days. And if you look at what's really been clicking, and like the Bloodline angle has obviously been money for WWE, is because it's taken place over a course of 4 or 5 years, right? And they've been really slow with every development. They've taken their time, they've kept it on the stove, they've let it bubble over. If you look in AEW, Swerve and Hangman at the moment, that's been going on for like a year now.
Yeah.
There are various other examples, but I feel in a lot of modern pro wrestling storylines, it's a race to the finish. CM Punk gets a bracelet and you are immediately told to receive it as the most important thing in the world. How about he carries that bracelet around for 4 or 5 months, makes it mean something, establish some sentimental connection, and then have a big bitter rivalry over it. There's just like... I know it's the way society's kind of trending at the moment. It's like the TikTokification of everything, and like there's been some studies come out in recent years that show that actually humans have worse attention spans than goldfish now. So I understand why we've gone to this kind of quick fire, sudden tag team splits thrown together one week, next week they're feuding. I understand why we've got to this point, but I would just like a bit more patience.
Yeah, I could argue that fact. I mean, yeah, fans need to have more patience. I'd argue that factors in brilliantly with the Punk Drew feud, because I quite like the SummerSlam match. People were pissed off. They're like, it's not violent enough. And I was like, give them time. They've done a strap match. They're doing Hell in a Cell off the back of it. You need to give that room to breathe, and doing a more story-based approach at SummerSlam, followed by the strap match, followed by Hell in a Cell with real stuff attached to it. I think that sort of applies there. But yeah, I mean, it's never going to happen, my one. And that's just social media. Just
fire it into the sun.
Yeah, or just try and be more positive. like everyone, anything happens and everyone's just like, how can I hate this if it's not from my company?
Tribalism's a good one.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you're never going to get rid of it. I mean, it's always existed. It's just more amplified now on social media, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. Like, I tweeted the other day, this is probably the first time in my fandom where I've not had a favorite promotion. Like, ever since I discovered wrestling in 1992, when I was 4, I've always had favorite company, right? WWF, obviously, back in the day. New Japan for a long period as an adult. AEW for a while after its launch. Now I'm just completely agnostic to companies. And immediately there was like 10 people going, no, you're a Fed shield. Actually, you're an AEW shield. It's like, let's all just calm down a little bit. I think social media is a good one.
Yeah, but it's never going away, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. My next question comes from one Andrew Richardson, who would like to know, hi legends, hope you're both well. We are, and hope you are too, sir. What wrestling move do you think is overused in AEW and WWE? For me, it's the kip up or the super kick. Have a great day. Super kick, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a transitional early match move now, isn't it?
But then also, some people still have it as a finish.
Yes, so it's difficult to kind of sell as one as a result.
For some reason, I thought chops there. Because I get it, but if you'd made it more special, then maybe Gunther's is a class above everything else. Yeah. But if you limit the amount of people doing it, it'd really be like, oh bollocks. And in terms of a spot, it's the in WWE, it's the going through the barricade spot, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like, thing is, there was a really good one at NXT Non Merci with Jada Parker, but it's just like, nowadays, no one's like, oh my god, they've gone through the barricade.
Yeah, exactly. It's anytime there's a match that requires a bit of energy or whatever, they just throw one of these things in, and it's definitely to the point of exhaustion. I've got another one that isn't technically a move, but I do agree on the super kick, and dives in general is one I had down here as well. The jumping nothing. The jumping nothing needs to go to hell. You know what I'm talking about?
Double axe handle.
Exactly. When someone's preparing to do a move somewhere else and there's somebody on the top rope and they just jump into it. It's like, what were you trying to achieve when you were jumping off the top rope?
If Evan Bourne could do a flip before he got RKO'd, you can work out to do something.
And the answer is, if you can't do the counter move, right, the person who's in the middle of the ring while the person jumps, if you can't do the move without doing the jumping nothing, you should just not do the move. Simple.
Fair.
Get rid of the jumping nothing. It's the worst thing in the world. Well, there are worse things, but wrestling. Anyway.
Cronus T-Bear of AI Wrestling, thank you for your question. It says, what are your takes on the current state of tag team wrestling across the board with the major players, AEW, WWE, NXT? I'd argue out of those three, the one in the worst shape might be AEW, which is insane to say.
Yeah.
It's obviously been sensational for such a long time. This does not apply to the grizzled young veterans, who I think could be a real breath of fresh air.
Grit your teeth.
In AEW. But yeah, you look around, NXT, I think Axiom and Nathan Fraser have been brilliant as tag champs. They've had brilliant matches with the likes of Chase U and just so many people that have been, I mean, the Wolf Dogs were down there. Maybe getting the Motor City Machine Guns, we can dream for that sort of thing. I mean, arguably, I would say WWE is doing really well in the men's division. Right? Because I'm really excited to see like Sammy and Jay reunite and take on the Bloodline. Street Profits are always great, obviously, DIY, blah, 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 right? The women's division, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill aside, I'm not saying that the Unholy Union bad or Damage Control are bad. They're just not getting anywhere near enough time. But I'm just really tired of AEW's tag division.
AEW's tag division is in a right old state, and it's a shame because it was a real highlight of the company early on. But the Young Bucks reign has just, they've got this clause where they have a certain amount of dates or whatever it was reported. It's just not been good. I cannot remember the last time the Young Bucks had a blow-away 2-on-2 match.
No. Do you think the trios division has maybe muddied the waters a little bit? Because the teams that you could say, focus on tag are doing trios stuff.
Yeah, perhaps, but I think there's a way to book them both. Well, I don't think we should let bookers off the hook in that way. And it's got to pick up. It's really got to pick up. I would be rebuilding that division in the image of people like GYV. I would. I'm sick personally as a viewer of watching the Bucks and FTR and various versions of it. I think that they should be kind of removed from the scene for at least 6 months. Build it up again around some newer teams. The grit your teeth thing I think is a little bit goofy, but GYV are an incredible team.
Give Zach Gibson a microphone.
There you go. Soon to be recognised. There you go, Liverpool's number one. But yeah, tag wrestling as a whole, I think very mixed bag in WWE. I think Fraxium are the tag team of the year in all of American wrestling.
I mean, after the family, yeah, obviously.
AEW not in a great place right now and probably needs a bit of rebuilding.
Yeah, fingers crossed it gets better in 2025.
Next question comes from Lou, who would like to know, who do you see dethroning both world champions currently? I presume they meant WWE, but let's throw the AEW world title in there as well.
Okay. Cody, you know my answer to this one. It's The Rock.
Yeah, exactly that.
At WrestleMania 41 for me. And I think then my life would be complete. Gunther's a tough one. Gunther's a really challenging one because you hear the rumours about Seth and Punk and you think, is Punk going to dethrone Gunther? You would have assumed it'd be someone like an Ilya Dragunov, obviously. But if they want to, put a main event together with Punk and Seth, I think it does kind of need the title attached to it. So I'll say, unless Seth does it. No, I'll say the Punker.
Yeah.
With regards to Bryan Danielson, really scared that Mox is going to dethrone him and end his career, basically. He's more of a tough one. Actually, no, the Beast Mortos, actually, is who I'd have taken the title off him.
Why not?
And then, with regards to Mariah May, I feel like I should mention them as well in all this. Liv Morgan, I think...
Liv Morgan's going to beat Mariah May?
Yeah. Mariah May, I don't know, actually. Mercedes? No, not Mercedes.
I've got an answer.
Go on.
Jamie, hate her.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yes.
She was injured when she lost the belt.
That's
She's going to dispose with Saraya and her army of people relatively quick, I think. And then why waste any time? I'm
mentally booking Hater into a feud with Mercedes Moné because I think that'd be class.
That'd be really good.
But then, that's complicates matters. Yeah, that's a great shout. In terms of, I think Tiffany dethrones Nia.
I agree.
I think it's right there. Maybe there's a tiny hot shot to Bayley or someone in the interim, but Tiffany eventually is going to be world champion and I'm going to celebrate. Liv, I don't know. I don't know whether you want to put the title back on Rhea. Maybe a Charlotte Flair. There you go.
Big Chaz. Yeah. Let's go. I think they will put that one back on Rhea Ripley. So that's my answer.
Yeah.
I'll do WWE ones. Yeah, The Rock is beating Cody and then he's going to disappear to film a movie and then he's going to vacate it and it's going to be... I mean, it'll be a good payday for those in the content business, but I'm not sure what the fans are going to think of that one. There you go. Cody is going to get that. No, I've just done Cody. Gunther, I think, for me, the most compelling version of this is Drew wins it, right? Drew loses Hell in a Cell.
Okay, I like that.
Loses Hell in a Cell to CM Punk. A few months later, 6-7 months later, Drew beats Gunther for the World Heavyweight. I know it's heel versus heel, but you can do something with that. They're too good to not do.
Do it in Scotland.
Yeah, there you go. Why not? Drew wins that, and then they can do, you can easily just reheat the Punk feud and make it like a multi-year thing. You can go, you may have beaten me in the cage, but and then immediately you've got juice for another one. I think that'd be good. Long
Swerve Hangman-esque that as well. I like it.
Long-term booking and the AEW world title. I'm choosing to believe that Darby Allin is going to win that.
Yes, that's the right call.
If not,
I was worried about Mox, but Darby's the right call, yeah.
If not, and I don't know if Bryan can go this long because he's got a dodgy neck, Eddie Kingston returning from injury to dethrone his big in-ring rival would be pretty sick. Just saying.
I miss Eddie Kingston.
Me too, man.
Ashley, thank you for your question. That's the next one we're going to get to. Stephen Borden, I do apologise, looks to have a great set of guys training him. You saw that photo doing the rounds the other day. How would you like to see the son of Sting presented in AEW?
I would do the Darby Sting storyline, but flipped.
Okay.
I would do Darby as his mentor.
I like that.
I think that's a cool flip on everything they did with Sting and Darby, which was an incredibly successful pairing. I have no idea if Stephen Borden if he's going to be good or anything like that. No one can possibly tell. But I tell you what, those lads were fun in that retirement match. They were big, silly fun. And I think that him and Darby...
Looks a spit of his dad as well, doesn't he?
He really does. You could really just cycle through the eras. And it's a good way to keep having Sting show up as well.
Yes. I like that. I loved his appearance, obviously, at All In. Yours is the right answer, so I'll do a silly one. Instead of the crow, what about the magpie? And he just keeps collecting belts for his nest. So...
Physically builds a nest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's transported, like they do the Eagles nest in NXT. It's just, who's that up there? Oh, it's the magpie. Ooh, you got any shiny things?
Okay.
Cool. That's over in his career.
I think it's my turn now, isn't it? Tom Talks Rubbish has been on.
Hey, great to hear from him.
He wants to know, is wrestling still fun for you both? Are you still wrestling fans? What do you watch to make sure you maintain your fandom? Yeah, I like this question because it's always a balance. When you get this job, it definitely changes the way you watch it. You watch it from a more, how can I approach this in my videos perspective than just being a fan.
That's a good point. And you also get the whole, like wrestling, do you? Well, smoke the whole pack.
Yeah, exactly. You need to watch all of it. And I often think, we come off like silly boys when we sit here and go, there's too much. Oh, my job watching wrestling is so hard. But I do get burned out quite a lot, and I get jaded, and especially when you're watching American wrestling, which is what we cover, the beats and the rhythms become very familiar. So I found two easy ways to clear that burnout and detox, if you will. Number one, when you have a week off work, watch nothing. Or 2 weeks. If you're on vacation, don't watch a single second of wrestling. Take it as a proper break.
It's hard the first couple of days as well, because obviously your Twitter is so like, oh my God, this happened. You're like, oh God, I need to find it. Oh no, actually, you're right. Separate yourself from it for a bit of time.
And number two is the same way that I deal with burnout when I'm listening to music in certain genres or whatever. It's watch different stuff.
Yeah.
Watch different stuff. Go watch some Joshi, go watch some Lucha, go watch Noah or All Japan, or if you're a sadomasochist, go and watch House of Torture in New Japan. But yeah, watching different stuff clears the palate as well.
Yeah, you're right. It's where you do catch yourself occasionally going, it's so hard, I had to go to America recently and watch wrestling.
I was sick on the plane.
I'm very aware, and I think all of us are, about complaining about this awesome job that we get to have. But you're right, take breaks. That's what I always do whenever I have a bit of time off. You catch back up on it, because you don't want to come in and you ask me about something on the news and me go, sorry, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
looks unprofessional. But in the moment, just not setting your alarm for 5, 6 a.m. on a Tuesday morning to watch Raw or whatever it is a real nice breather. I think it also helps having other things that you're interested in. So like, you and I are big football fans as well. So nice being able to sort of, if we go for a drink or whatever, talk about that instead of like, oh, what do you think is going to happen next with this thing? And also I think it's difficult initially when you do this as a job, but you don't have to watch everything. Like, it's similar to the taking a break thing, but like, if for example, we're going to be covering the pay-per-view that happens over the weekend, you probably don't need to watch the show that happens on a Friday or a Saturday with SmackDown, because it's going to be, so you don't have to be like, especially when you've got, I've got a kid now and stuff, so many other distractions out there, it feels bad to be like, no, feel like I need to watch this. But it's just everything in moderation.
Portion control.
Yes. Jason Cruel gives us the next question 8. It's getting closer to 2025, bloody hell it is as well, which means Cena's last run is fast approaching. What do you see happening with him breaking his tie with Flair?
I think he should have a world title match to get the 17th world title reign, and I think he should lose it. I think that
he's not going to campaign to win it, I don't think.
No, John Cena. The thing about this John Cena farewell, and I'm in favor of him having a farewell tour, because Sting's farewell tour in AEW was so much fun, and Cena's will be similar. They'll do lots of cool stuff. They'll have they'll have a Doctor of Thugonomics segment where he runs someone down.
This hasn't been sprung on them. They've had a lot of time to think about what the checklist of things they want to do. Yeah.
But the dirty secret, or the thing a lot of people don't want to admit about John Cena's farewell tour, is that John Cena in the ring is washed beyond belief. That Austin Theory match was abysmal. It did absolutely nothing to elevate Theory, and Cena looked the worst he ever has. I don't think that you should be booking this guy in 20-25 minute singles matches, which is why I think it's more believable if you tell the story with Cena on the way out, that the reason he's not getting the record and the reason that he loses this world title match is because he is finished and it's time to go. That should be the story.
Yeah, and WWE, if they historically want to say, the biggest world champion ever, they can just focus more on Cena than on Flair. It's not
they can just lie.
I think I would have him in Money in the Bank matches, because people would buy, he'll probably win that, and then he's holding that, he's got to cash in by the end of the year. I wouldn't have him win that. I think trying and failing to win the world title, or if you change your mind in the last second, just give him the NXT championship, I suppose. or if they're doing some sort of head-to-head with AEW. Guess what? John Cena's fighting the world champion.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, NXT I find is a product that personally for me, like my enjoyment of it is enhanced if I imagine it was just booked by Willy Wonka. So John Cena showing up and winning the world title kind of fits that. Yeah.
It turns out he's the latest student to join Chase U. How do you do, fellow kids?
Yes, a guy who really needs some development and some seasoning. Learn how to work the hard cam, chief.
But the lineage of the what's it called, World Universal, Cody's title. Yeah. I don't see that being derailed. I mean, The Rock's going to win it, but I don't see that needing another derailment through having to sort of John Cena win that. And the World Heavyweight, you could give him that if you decide to, but the names that I've got going around in my head for next year do not include John Cena.
Yeah. So, fun retirement tour, but I don't need them 30-minute matches.
No.
Let's go to my final question on this one. It is from Hibiki Stone, who would like to know, love to hear your suggestions for an all-woman AEW pay-per-view, AEW Evolution, if you will. Who would be in the matches? And he's got the box already. And if there are any stipulations you'd add. So I've written down 4 matches here that I'd like to see, but we also have a box of bollocks.
Just going to try and find some. Please tell me Willow's in one of those.
He's over here booking Satnam Singh versus Alex Reynolds for an all-woman pay-per-view because of the random names. I'm just going to go through some good matches I wrote down. Number 1, Mariah May versus Mina Shirakawa. That's going to happen at some point.
That's a great show.
Yeah, it's going to happen at some point anyway, so why not have it as a big marquee match on this pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. Number 2, my current, what's the word I'm looking for? Dream match in the division is Mercedes versus Chris Statlander. Because Chris Statlander is a beast and Mercedes bumps like she's completely insane. And I think that'd be great. Number 3, just because I think it would be good, Athena versus Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, let's get Athena more on AEW
Let's
for
do
me.
it. I think she will after she loses the belt eventually.
Yeah.
And number 4, look, it's the AEW Women's Division. You've got to have a bonkers hardcore tag team match, haven't you? Mm-hmm. So why don't we reprise the classic? And I know some of these people have stepped away from wrestling and stuff, but hey, let's run it back. It was great. Anna Jay and Ty Conti versus Penelope Ford and the Bunny again. Hardcore, crazy weapons, blood, guts. Let's do it.
I want Willow on this card, one way or another.
Yes.
So she can either face Maria Kanellis Bennett or Britt Baker.
Okay.
Let's do tooth and nail, but good.
With actual nails. Maybe not that.
Imagine that, Willow, the nicest person, just taking a drill to Britt Baker's head or something.
That would be brutal. I've said who have we not got?
I've said Mercedes.
We've not got Shida. Not got Willow.
Yeah.
A lot of talented people. Serena Deeb, very, very good. Very
yeah.
good. You could even because it's AEW and they have that working relationship, you could even name some Stardom wrestlers like Mayu Iwatani versus Jamie Hayter would be great. Has that happened before? I don't know. Let me know. There's lots of fun options. You could do all sorts. I mean, if you want to go, you want to get weird, right? You see CMLL partnership, Tessa Blanchard. Probably not, but
hey, it's a thumbnail.
It's a thumbnail. It's been a thumbnail for a great many years. But there's a lot.
Mercedes versus Tessa. There you go.
Sure.
Over to you, Tony.
Why the hell not?
Great final question to end on, Andy. From Mike Sykes Blythe. Thank you, Mike, for this question. What is your favourite ever comedy match?
WeLC.
Really?
WeLC is my favorite comedy match of all time. If I was a hipster, I'd mention Hulk Hogan versus The Genius, but no, WeLC. It's a masterpiece.
It is great.
It's a masterpiece because El Torito was a great wrestler.
He could go.
Yeah, he could go. And obviously the whole thing is that it's him and Hornswoggle, doing crazy things in the stipulation. But the big lads worked so hard for this silly stipulation, taking bumps, going through tables. You know why it's such a good match is because it wasn't treated like a total farce.
Yeah,
it wasn't treated as
it's weird to think back considering the era it was in.
Exactly, it wasn't treated like a slapstick piss take. It was no, we're gonna actually craft some memorable spots and moments around this. It is extremely funny. But at the same time, it's also treated with a degree of seriousness.
Yeah.
It's a great match.
My favourite comedy match is similar in terms of the fact it's a really fun, entertaining match, but there's actually a really good match running underneath as well. I have to pick Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville from WrestleMania.
Yes.
I was lucky enough to be in attendance for that. I loved the weird build of it all. Sami Zayn's the best, obviously. But it's just stupid, and it was so much fun, and the Jackass lads getting involved and all the shenanigans with the giant mousetrap that didn't work, but who cares? It was so much. I'm going to go back and watch that this afternoon, I think. It's great. It's a genuinely good match with just all of the stuff thrown at it.
Yeah.
And one day there might be a rematch. I'd be up for that.
There's a lot of like Yano matches as well.
Yeah.
Omega, Moxley,
Mox
Shibata.
is the one I remember because I remember you boys obviously getting really excited about Mox going to Japan and then going, he's the best. He's beating everyone. I think he might win the G1 here actually. Yeah. And then his kryptonite is Toru Yano.
Mox got that great promo as well where he was like, I will pull up to your house in a strangely comedic vehicle that I've inexplicably acquired.
Yes.
Just a whole fun time.
Honourable mention to Orange Cassidy and Pac as well. I like that one too.
Yeah, what an introduction that was to what Orange Cassidy.
I showed that to some friends of mine that just aren't wrestling fans and they had a ball watching.
Yeah, comedy wrestling can be done well.
Yeah.
Can be done well, man. It's just, when Vince McMahon tried to do it, most times it was bad. WLC was good, folks.
Yeah, exactly. But let us know your favourite comedy match and your thoughts on all the questions that we've answered in the comments section below. Thank you for sending to us. We'll do this again very soon.
We'll be
so
back
check
next
out
week
at WhatCulture WWE on X to send them to us in the interim. But for now, Andy, if you want to keep the entertainment going, there's another video right here.
Skadoosh.
Bye.